Hi, and welcome back to the Cannabis Infused Motherhood YouTube channel. My name is Sabrina, and I created this channel to share all sorts of different things that relate to cannabis, using cannabis as a tool to help you reprogram your subconscious mind, different mindset techniques, and things like that, different tutorials involving cannabis. So if you like any of that stuff, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new content. Cannabis edibles have officially been made legal in Canada. I'm in Northern Ontario, so cannabis has been legal for about a year now in Canada. At this point in time, we are only allowed to buy through government-regulated dispensaries for cannabis. Everything else is considered black market. And so far, I'm not a big fan of what I prefer to call Prohibition 2.0. This legalization has kind of put up a lot more roadblocks for cannabis consumers than it was before legalization. So it's been kind of strange. So today I want to talk about the edibles. So like I said, they were made legal as of October 17th of this year. So that includes any cannabis vaping products, topicals, extracts, both ingestible and smokable, and of course food and beverage. So on the surface, it sounds like a really awesome thing, doesn't it? But just like legalization itself in Canada, it comes with many strings attached and some regulations that make longtime cannabis users kind of cringe. Although legalization of those edible products is official, we probably won't see anything in our stores until probably early 2020. They are projecting they'll be ready by mid-December, but with the holidays and stuff like that and it going through government channels, I highly doubt that we'll be seeing them before the new year. So here are some regulations that are coming along with cannabis edibles. So for food and beverages, the THC limit per package is only 10 milligrams. That seems extremely low to me. Even to a novice cannabis user, 10 milligrams probably won't affect you all that much. So there's that. There's different product rules. So any cannabis edibles are not allowed any added vitamins, which I find kind of strange. There's going to be limits on caffeine allowed in those products, and obviously no alcohol, which I'm fine with. I don't think cannabis and alcohol should be used together because cannabis is such a healing, uplifting herb, while alcohol is a very toxic and inhibiting substance. So I don't like mixing the two together. But if you want to, that's all on you. But yeah, that won't be allowed in the legal edible marketing. So packaging has to be plain and childproof, which is fine. And the label has to have the standard cannabis symbol. I'll throw that up on the screen for you to see afterwards. And there's also a health warning message that says cannabis is dangerous and all that fun stuff. So yay, government. So it's going to also list the THC and CBD content, the ingredients that are included, and allergens and nutritional facts, which is standard. I think that's all right. Packaging or candies must not be appealing to children. So cannabis edibles such as candies, cookies, things like that probably won't be allowed because it's appealing to children. They're also not allowed to include any health or dietary claims, and no elements that would associate the product with alcoholic beverages or any brands of alcoholic beverages. So as I already told you a bit of my opinion, I think 10 milligrams of THC per package is super, super low. I'm curious to see how much these edibles are going to cost. Personally, I need about at least like 150 to 200 milligrams of THC in an edible in order to feel the effects and for it to provide pain relief, relaxation, the euphoric effect. So I would need about 20 of those one-piece candies. So I don't think it's going to be very cost-effective, one. And two, we're just going to see a lot more plastic packaging going to waste. I think it's a total, I don't know, it's just awful. I'm not excited about this. So yeah, like I said, for seasoned consumers of cannabis, 10 milligrams isn't going to do anything. 10 milligrams isn't even going to tickle those endocannabinoid receptors. As with all edibles, it's better to start low and go slow. So if you're new to cannabis, 10 milligrams may be somewhere where you could start. But yeah, I'm curious on what your thoughts on that. What do you think? Do you think 10 milligrams would even give you a high or anything, or do you need way more than that? I'm just curious what you think. I also think it's very strange that they're not allowed to add any extra vitamins or minerals into the edibles. I wouldn't mind grabbing an edible candy with some extra vitamin C in it or something like that. I don't really understand what the government is, like what their objective is with that. Maybe they don't want it to be too healthy. I don't know. So yeah, if you know why they could possibly be wanting to limit the addition of any vitamins and minerals, I would love to know that information, because I honestly have no idea. When it comes to making sure that edibles are not appealing to children, it can really limit the kind of edibles that they're going to be able to roll out into the legal cannabis market. Candies, for example, are pretty popular on the black market. I've had some THC candies. And baked goods too could also be appealing to children. So I don't really understand. It's food. It's, kids eat too. If it's in a child-proof container and parents are responsible with storing it and keeping it out of reach, I don't think there is any problem with having candies that contain THC. So yeah. And like I said, the one thing I do agree with is not associating cannabis with alcohol. I think they're two totally different things. If you want to smoke and drink, go for it. Like, I'm not judging you or anything like that. I know plenty of people that do that. But personally, mixing cannabis and alcohol makes me feel awful and sick. So if I want to drink, I'm going to just drink. If I want to consume cannabis, I'm going to consume just cannabis. And I don't even drink all that often anymore. So yeah, it's not really a big issue for me. So yeah, they're also rolling out like THC capsules and things like that. So, and cannabis extracts. So there's a couple different rules for that. So when it comes to cannabis extracts, so like in a capsule form, they'll only be allowed to be 10 milligrams per capsule, or dispensed amount. So that could be oils as well. So like 10 milligrams per dropper, etc. And they'll be allowed a maximum of 1,000 milligrams of THC per package, which is a lot better than what the edibles are going to be rolling out as. So you get a tincture with 1,000 milligrams of THC, or capsules, like I said. So the total container can have up to 1,000 milligrams. So that's reasonable. I don't really have anything too much to say about that. Again, they're not allowed to add any vitamins or minerals, no sugars, colors or sweeteners, and no nicotine or caffeine. There's not going to be able to have any more than 90 milliliters of liquid or extracts, and the packaging must also be child-resistant, plain, and must have a dispensing device like a dropper if it's not in unit form, like capsules or something like that. The label is going to be similar to edibles, and they can't be appealing to children, no health claims, and nothing to associate it with alcohol. There's also going to be inhaled and concentrated THC, which could be anything from vapes to shatter to different things like that. Again, 1,000 milligrams per package, and everything else is basically the same as the edibles and ingestible extracts. For cannabis topicals, they will be allowed to sell 1,000 milligrams of THC per package. These topicals are meant for use on skin, hair, and nails, and only able to use cosmetic grade ingredients, and not for use on eyes or damaged skin. So that's interesting to me. So they say not for use on damaged skin. I know a lot of people that would reach out for a topical to soothe a rash, or to try and heal a wound or a cut or anything like that. And I think that's what a lot of people use topicals for, and I think that's kind of silly. So I don't know, I'm kind of weary about what kind of topicals that'll be allowed. Other than that, the topical rules are basically very similar to the above mentioned. So they got to be child-proof, include an ingredients list, directions on how to use, and a warning about not putting it on damaged skin. And I will note that if any of the other ingredients included in the topical is not safe for damaged skin, I would recommend not using it. But if you create your own, let's say coconut oil and cannabis topical, I would definitely use it on damaged skin. So we'll see what kind of things that they roll out with that. So again, back to that 10 milligram serving size for edibles. I think that's very patronizing and suggests that Canadians cannot be responsible to experiment with our tolerance levels and to find our limit on our own. The amount of edibles that you are legally allowed to carry in Canada in public is 450 grams for solids. So it would make much more sense to allow 10 milligram per serving, but have a total of 450 grams in the total package. That would make a little bit more sense to me. So I think 10 milligrams is ridiculous, and not only for our freedom to experiment and have more than 10 milligrams per serving, but also to save on waste and plastic and packaging. The Canadian government should honestly be doing something about the amount of waste that's coming out of the OCS stores, or the legal cannabis dispensaries in Canada. There is a ridiculous amount of plastic. The quality of the bud is not that great. I'm not impressed at all. And they should have some sort of recycle program, or be offering your cannabis in glass jars, then you bring it back and just have it refilled with the product every time you go into the store. I think that would be way more environmentally friendly and even cost effective, because I'm sure all these rules and regulations that surround packaging are what's driving the price of cannabis in the legal market upwards, and that's why most people are sticking to the black market. So it's interesting. And like I said, returning your packaging would, in a situation similar, you would go return your empties at the LCBO and you get a little bit of change back for it. I think that would be a great way to incentivize recycling of those products. So anyways, we'll see how things go as we roll out this new phase of legalization in Canada. So in conclusion, I've been consuming cannabis it's legal for years and years and years. And although it just became legal last year, I don't really like anything about this legalization. I find myself more scared to break the rules than I was before legalization rolled out, with all the new laws and things like that. It's kind of annoying. So and I personally will be making my own edibles. I will not be purchasing from the legal market, because I think that 10 milligrams is a joke. It's an absolute joke. So I'll be making my own. I actually have a can of butter tutorial that you're welcome to go watch. It is great to make your own, and there's also a calculator that you can use to figure out how many milligrams of THC is in each piece of your edible. I've linked that below on the can of butter tutorial video, and I also have a cookie recipe coming out as well. So you guys can make your own edibles. You can experiment with your tolerance level with edibles on your own terms, and just remember, if you take too much, you will live. Just don't worry about it too much, because people are making cannabis out to be this very awful, scary thing, and using it to put fear into those who are either unfamiliar with cannabis or have a bias against it. And yeah. Oh, and one last thing, since Halloween is coming right around the corner, edibles are being legalized, and all I have been seeing all over with all these news articles about watching your kids' Halloween candy for edibles. Honestly, I don't think any person in the cannabis community is out to give your kids edibles. For one, edibles are rather expensive to make or to buy. No one's going to be spending all that money to get kids stoned. I'm sorry, I really don't see that as a thing. If it does happen, I'm sure it's a freak accident, or it was kind of influenced by the media that's going on about all that. So I love edibles. I'm making edibles, and no, I really don't think anyone would throw that in your kids' Halloween bag. So try not to worry too much about that. I mean, yeah, I really don't think the cannabis community is full of people that were out to harm children. Not that cannabis can really cause all that much harm. It's better to wait until your brain's fully developed to start using cannabis, but I don't think it would cause any harm even if it did. I'd be upset if someone gave my kid an edible, obviously, but I really don't think that's very likely to happen. So on that note, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you have a great day. If you like cannabis content, spirituality, healing, different types of content like that, I'm all about that stuff, and I'll be posting more and more as time goes on, as I heal more from my accident. Yeah, so I hope you have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.